Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
No, you got to go, Mary.
And I'm Mary.
And thank you guys for joining us for another one of our podcasts. So, Mary, how's it going? What's going on?
Do you have something new for the garden?
Oh, wait. Oh, that's my
that
line.
Was your line.
I know. So, Mary, what's new in the garden this week? I'm just messing with you.
I think my new in the garden this week is the amount of birds that are coming through, migrating through.
Lots of birds.
Oh, they're just eating all the seeds. The zinnias are finally going to seed, and the birds are just mobbing them. And you know what they really like to eat too is the crepe myrtle seeds.
Really?
Very interesting. Yes, they love them.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either before we grew crepe myrtles.
Interesting. Well, we do have, you think that, so in the front we have a crepe myrtle that's in front of the office. And then we have
Yes.
like the, what do you call it, the volunteer or?
I think probably a bird probably dropped a seed.
Yeah,
we do. We have
I think it's going to be great. We decided we're going to keep that. So I think it's going to look cool. But it's actually grown quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It'll be interesting to see if it's a Natchez crepe myrtle. That's the variety that's growing nearby it.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see if it has the white blooms.
Oh, very nice. Well, you did. You went to the garden center and picked some stuff up.
Yes.
Didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Hi, guys, stealing your thunder. We're going to hold off on that. We're going to have the technical difficulties. That's funny. You had to see the look Mary gave me. That was like no, not yet. Okay, as we move along, Mary. No. That was fun. That was good. Hey, so we don't sit and practice this, right? We have a conversation.
We wing it.
We do wing it. We have conversations, which is I like. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. So anyway, what else you got?
Oh, we have been very busy this past couple of weeks, so we really have not had a chance to dig into the garden very much. I do think that I better hurry up and get the last of the sweet potatoes out of the ground, and I expect that I need to do that before this weekend.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes are interesting because when you first lift them from the ground, you don't eat them right away. They are not sweet and they haven't fully developed their flavor. So you need to put them where it's not like wet humid, but it's got humidity, like air humidity, and it stays a little on the warmish side so that they will cure and sweeten and they will last longer for you.
So that, I'm assuming, is different than a regular potato then, right?
Much.
Regular ones you can just pull out of the ground and they're ready?
Yes, that's correct.
I did not know that. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I think that is probably everything I have.
No, I'm not speaking. I'm going to stay away from it. That was a great look you gave me. He's like, no.
We had such a great visit with our daughter last podcast.
We did.
She helped us put together a Halloween wreath. We had wreath making supplies that completely covered this office, but the wreath turned out beautiful, and we had a really good time visiting with her and talking about her monstera. And growing her giant pothos ivy.
Very, very nice family activity. So it was kind of fun.
Yes.
It was actually a lot of fun.
And I'm looking forward to this weekend. Maybe we'll be carving a pumpkin. Oh, and that does remind me, I do have a follow-up tip on the pumpkin.
Okay.
We learned from our son this past week. We were thinking that you rub the entire pumpkin in some sort of Vaseline or something.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
But he said, no. Nikki told us you only rub the cut edges, and it'll help the pumpkin
and
not
that makes sense, because when we were reading about, like I said, that's just kind of weird.
Didn't understand.
Would have been hard to pick it up and move it.
Oh, absolutely. Wouldn't that have been awful? It would collect dust. And,
yes. Oh, it was gross.
Yeah.
So a little correction there on our part. Nice.
So it's just the cut edges.
Okay.
that you need to think about. Yeah.
Anything else for the what's new?
Yep. I think that's it for
That's
me.
it. Well, I know you have an interesting topic today, and we're gonna lead you into it and ask you, what is that? What do you got?
What do I have? Today, I was really going to think of some ways to get yourselves out of a rut.
Oh, the rut.
Were you waiting?
I was waiting. I like using those. It's fun. They're fun to use. But that seemed very appropriate. That was the rut.
So appropriate.
The gardening rut.
Gardening rut.
So you're going to talk about ways to get out of a doldrums in the garden or a rut.
Yes.
So, all right. That sounds cool.
I mean, we're really getting busy. It's a busy time of year. And it seems overwhelming. A little bit, it seems overwhelming. It seems like there's so many things that you need to do all at the same time. And it just gets to where it's blah.
Yeah.
And that's hard sometimes to motivate yourself to keep going.
I think it is. And well, like you said, I mean, we start having all the holidays coming, and we're starting to have a lot more activities with the grandkids, a lot of family activities and stuff with sports and kids or grandkids.
Yeah.
And so it definitely can get to the point where it's harder to get out in the garden.
It's time cramped.
Yeah.
You're just time limited and things like that, and energy limited too. Some of the things that happen in the fall are labor intensive as well, and that seems to it drains my energy. I know.
Yes.
for a fact. But I just tried to come up with a few ideas that I feel like we could encourage ourselves and bring back a little spark, a little creativity, something that just makes us happy when we go out and look at it. And that is what I want to really focus on, is that if we try to think, no matter what size your garden is, if you try to think of the whole garden and everything you need to get done, sometimes that's like a big break and just makes you want to not do anything. But I say start small. Just back away and do one activity. So I did choose an activity that you brought up earlier. And one of my suggestions is to visit a garden center. And really, sometimes you could just go walk through the garden center and you don't have to purchase anything. You could just do window shopping and, take note of what you see. And maybe there's something in there that makes you go, oh, I'd like to try that, and just do a quick little stop while you're out. Maybe you're on your way to get groceries or something like that, It doesn't have to be real big. That's the point. Try to just do a small thing that seems very light and very happy. And so, of course, I didn't exactly follow that path.
I was going to say, if we're counting up 100 times going, I'm not sure that we'd have left without anything. But,
we probably
I was going with you on that one.
You were so sweet.
So, I was like, okay. And I was trying to think back. Have we ever visited a plant nursery and not purchased anything? Sometimes it's not a lot, but I don't think we've ever walked in and walked out. But it's a good point.
Well, one thing is this week I did decide to start small because it feels all-encompassing right now. It's just like it's gone haywire, So I decided just to refresh the little containers that we have on our railing, not a balcony railing. What is it? Our porch railing. And so I did. I went and I picked up some bedding plants, colorful fall bedding plants, snapdragons that we've talked about before, pansies that we've talked about before. I did pick up petunias, one of my favorites, which surprisingly, they had this very small section of supertunias. They were the Vista series, Vista Bubblegum, Vista Honey, and there was another one in the Vista series that I picked up. And so those have honestly lived through the winter for me. I was very surprised about that. And so I'm going to give those a little try, throw them out there. And I just redid some of our containers. And it feels so good. Even you came out and you said, Mary, it looks so much more open.
It does. It looks nice, and in the fall, we're lucky in Texas because we can do color in the fall. In the winter, it does look nice. It looks really nice.
Looks nice. Pansies have lived through that ice storm, that great big ice storm that we had, and they defrosted and did just fine.
Nice.
So I have my fingers crossed that these will last for a number of months.
Oh, absolutely.
But,
yeah.
We'll see.
I think they're going to do fine for a while.
I think they are too. So that would be my first thing, my first suggestion. And one of the things that I was there and I picked up a plant very unfamiliar to me called a cyclamen, which I've never tried before. The attendant at the garden center was explaining that these particular cyclamen will grow outside in a dappled shade condition, and they should go right through the winter.
Okay.
And they won't last in the heat. They're definitely cold weather here. So, I'm going to give those a little try.
Yeah, give it a shot.
So look for just one thing that you could learn about, and then you won't be overwhelmed.
Right,
you could just,
right. Good idea. I like that. Yeah, because it honestly can be overwhelming at points.
Mm-hmm. And then, for me, I am notorious for when I'm done, I just make a big pile of everything I was working with, and there it sits. And, I'm sure all of us have that habit in some aspect of their life, but it's hard to get back into your gardening when all your tools are in a great big jumble, So on a day that you are feeling less than motivated to get outside, why not choose to do a small section of your tools?
Yeah.
And you could either organize, maybe you could clean. I did that today. I moved our worm bin and cleaned the space where the worm bin had been sitting.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to, and I do it with my tools every once in a while too. It just feels good to do it. And it's actually,
it does.
I don't want to say mind numbing, but it doesn't. You can just think of other things, just relax and just kind of organize and put them all together. And then, next time you're looking for something, it's kind of nice that it's right where you put it.
You know what? Jeff took his tools and he organized them and he labeled the drawers. And that has been the best blessing ever, because when we need something or want something, we can just look know where to go.
Yeah, it's been great. It's only taken 40 years to do that. Let's face it, when we had all the boys and kids living at home,
yes,
I was lucky I found a wrench anywhere. But yes, so now that we've turned into the classic old guy with his tools, which is funny, but it is nice.
I want to emulate that. I need to be the classic old lady.
It's nice because if somebody needs something, I can say it's out in the garage and it's look at the drawer that says screwdrivers.
And
okay,
you know
they
where
go in
it
there.
is.
Yeah, it's very good.
And that is one of my suggestions. And one of them that I think I'm going to have to follow through on a few minutes every day. I think it's just a daily task. Mm-hmm. I'm tired when I'm done gardening. I get very tired. So that leads me to an idea, a management idea that I have for the upcoming whole year. Usually, I try to, like if I'm going to trim back the plants, I try to trim and bag everything and tidy everything away. And by the time I'm done with that, I am a limp dish rag, And so I think next year, what I might plan to do is divide it up. This day is trimming, and then I'll put those tools away. And then the next day, because it's not going to hurt anything to let it lay there for a day.
No.
The next day I'll come out and gather all the material and bag it and deal with it that day. And then I could put those tools away.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you don't have to drag everything with you.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's, that's
nice.
Some of my thoughts. I don't know. Do you have any?
No, I like it. I just think that's a good idea because we both tend to way overdo. Like we won't do something for 2 days and then for one day we just like kill ourselves.
Yes.
And it's just,
yeah.
Especially when it's in the summer and it's warmer, it's very, very hard to do. And then we're kind of limited too on time in the summer because it starts getting to be 100 and something degrees. We're not going to be out there doing it. But I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. Let's remind ourselves of that as we go.
I'm gonna remind you. Don't worry about that.
Well, one thing I was thinking of on the tool organization, I always think to myself, I need a sharper instrument to cut the weeds or a sharper instrument to use like my shovel to get into the ground. But I'm not very educated on how you do sharpen your tools.
That's a good point.
That's something I need to
You know what? In winter,
address.
Winter is a great time to do all that. I mean, even as far as like the blade on the lawnmower.
Oh, I forgot you were talking about that.
I mean, those are the things you should be doing in the winter and just kind of prepping. I'm not mowing in the winter. In Texas, I will mow a few times, but, for the most part, you're not using it. So it's a good time to kind of do some maintenance and do those type of things. But sharpening the tools is probably a good thing. We tend to not do. I haven't sharpened the more than 6 years. It cuts, but it's not optimum. That's obviously. But
I'll be interested to hear how you do that.
I think it's a great thing.
Effects will be.
Yeah, you have to start looking it up and see. You can get sharpening tools and do them. You can take them to people. There's people who sharpen stuff for you too, as well. They'll sharpen. Actually, the guy on the side of the road they set up shop. Honestly, they set up shop like on the side of the road, and they sharpen stuff. So
we should take advantage of that.
We should take advantage of it. He's got all the tools, so and we'll do something. But that's a good idea. I do have that on my list to sharpen a couple of those things, and so when we start using them next year, they're in better shape.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, me too. My hand tools and things like that. I need to address them better. But so that was like one of my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree.
And one of my
That's a good
suggestions. Focusing on a small task, just focus on, I don't know what it would be. Maybe it's gathering up all the empty containers that you haven't put anything in and either deciding to plant them or store them. All you have to do is gather them and divide them. Then the next time you're willing to do another small project, you could say, this container I want to plant, let's do that, So I kind of did that. I transplanted, which, I think it'll be okay. It's now the name has gone
It is
right out of my mind.
I don't know what it was.
At any rate, it was a beautiful blue blooming plant that we had. And I decided I would just transplant it and see if it'll take hold. I will have to look that up because right now, I just had the thought, and I want to say plumeria, but that's not the right one.
Well, don't look at me. I would call it the blue plant.
The blue plant. Well, you picked it out.
Oh,
and you planted
my gosh, that's literally saying nothing.
right now, one of your very small tasks might be to go around, like I have 2 Meyer lemon trees. I have some bougainvillea that I would like to get through the winter. I have some small ice plants that I would like to try to get through the winter. And so just the small task would be to go around and stick some sort of a labeling device in each of those containers. You may already be in a very cold environment that this has already been taken care of. But here in Texas, we might have a week or 2 or 3 before we actually have to get those brought in. And so just put a label out there so it can remind you, oh, yeah, I need to be ready to bring my Meyer lemon into the garage.
Yeah.
If it gets below 45 or whatever at night. Also, one of the things that is a challenge for me, when I'm out there going to town, I'm weeding, or I'm trimming things back, or I'm doing something else, my mind oftentimes will go, I need to do the laundry, I need to do the dishes, I have to do this, I have to, always thinking about either what I didn't get done, what I need to get done, what's on my schedule, what movie I saw last night, But if we will stop for just a little time and just really, really, really focus on being right in that moment. And like you said before, when you allow your mind to just relax while you're doing your task, I think that's very important, just to be centered right there and just take time to just let everything else go away. You could always address each of those issues later. And maybe for 10 minutes, you just see how beautiful of a plant you have.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because if you're not doing that, then it might tend to become a job. And if it's a job, well, okay, for me at least, it wouldn't be fun.
Yes.
But because the job is something you feel you have to do. And really, gardening should be something you enjoy doing and should be relaxing and all that. So yeah, you definitely should take advantage of being out there and just enjoying what it is you're doing. And you're not going to be out there 8 hours. You're going to be out there a couple hours, maybe an hour, a couple hours, whatever. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah. We usually try to watch the birds in the morning after we get done with our walk and just take just that little instant of time and just really try to see the garden for what it is.
Yeah, no, I will say we do good every morning. We do sit out there and just kind of watch, see what's happening back there, which is it's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice to do. It's kind of a nice start to the day.
So along with that, look around. I have a bad habit that I would like to break. And that bad habit is either, I think I'm very critical of my efforts. And so if a plant doesn't look exactly the way I think it should look, or if I didn't quite get it in the right position and I'm unhappy with exactly everything about the plant, I don't take time to celebrate my wins, things that do look nice, things that make me happy, things that are very useful. Sometimes things in the garden, like our bird feeders and our bird bath, our little bird watering bath, sometimes those things in the garden bring you the greatest satisfaction if you'll step back and take a moment to, recognize that. Recognize, okay, this is going right. This is doing very well.
And you are very critical, because when I look out there, it's just like it looks really cool. But I'm obviously, I probably look at it differently. I just kind of look at it as, is it pleasant to look at? And do I enjoy it? Yeah, I think it looks great. And I know you like to go, well, we need to put something here. This is okay.
I want to
I don't think
this.
it's not going to hurt, but it looks nice. And, the colors are all nice. I think you got a nice garden going out there in nice areas.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree with you. About that.
So I applaud you and say yes.
I would like to take a few steps back. And one of the things that we celebrated this year was the silver ponyfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've talked about it several times, but that little section of the garden is just kind of delightful. It makes me happy whenever I go out there and I'm around it. So take time to find those little spots and do celebrate your win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. I mean, it's supposed to be an enjoyable hobby. I mean, let's face it, they're hobby. It's a hobby, and you should enjoy the hobby.
Absolutely.
And nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, and this is hard. It's hard, but then it's the point I want to make is that it's good to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Take a vacation from it. Put away all your gardening magazines. Put everything away for a while, and do something else. You and I are pretty good about having days where we just do something completely different, and it doesn't have anything to do with gardening or the yard or anything like that. We do try to have that in our lives.
Right.
My problem on the other side of the coin is I get used to that, and then it's hard to motivate myself to go back outside. But it's good to take that break and have a very small project that you would like to do to get yourself back out there.
No, I think that's a good point. I mean, I know, at this point, you have a pretty mature garden out there.
We do, actually,
right?
Yes.
And so it's not...
that might be part of the issue, too.
And it doesn't need, there's nothing that needs a complete overhaul at this point, I don't think. I mean, not unless you say it needs overhauling. But, I mean, it kind of... I think it's to the point where you can just now look at doing smaller things like you did with the pansies and such that you got. Just kind of nice. And that, that took a morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You put that in and those in and they look nice. And I mean, I think the garden's the same way. I know there's some spots you definitely want to do some things with, but it's not like a complete, when we first did it, it was that was a complete, build from nothing.
That was so
garden.
Crazy.
Yeah. And, and I know, we looked at some stuff and said, that's not right.
That's working right.
But I think he got it pretty much, probably 75% to where you need it, 75, 80%. And so now you're just working on the other 20%. So that's great.
Well, that is another point that I didn't really go into thoroughly as I was thinking. But if there's something in your garden that is, becomes sort of useless to you, maybe you'll give up doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the garden has gotten mature, we have so many plants that bloom over such an extended amount of time that next year I may not put up hummingbird feeders.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem was this year the bees got trapped in the hummingbird feeders.
They did. And the hummingbirds actually love the garden.
They love
this year.
The
they probably went more for because it's a little more mature. They've gone more for the garden than they did the actual feeders. So, which is great. That's good for them.
Mm-hmm. So look around. Maybe there's an activity that you're continuing to do that you could let go of and it wouldn't affect your garden at all and might relieve some of the pressure on you.
Nice. I like it. I like where you're going with this.
So, in conclusion, give yourself a pat on the back, take a small break, take a deep breath, and enjoy your garden.
Yeah, celebrate your wins. Celebrate what you have.
The wins.
Don't be too critical of what's there. It's
or comparative to others too.
Definitely don't be compared. I mean,
that's hard. Yeah.
That it is. It's a good point because I will say in where we live, we're one probably. I mean, a lot of people pay for their landscaping.
Absolutely.
Here.
Yeah, we're one of the few
I guess
people
that's a nice way to say it.
Do our own.
And so that there's no. So it's just obviously only for looks. Mm-hmm. So there's it's not people that actually enjoy the gardening that much. I don't think. So we do it a different way, and I think ours looks great. The advantage is that we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
we're not restricted by either waiting for someone to come do it or them kind of saying, "Oh, you should do this or that." So anyway, but don't be critical. Enjoy it. It's your garden, and you should enjoy being out there.
Well, I celebrate those words.
Yeah. Jeff. Yeah, look at that. Words of wisdom. Hey, I've got a few things from Jeff's Corner.
We need a sparkle.
A sparkle?
Where's our sparkle?
Oh, gosh. Let me sparkle it. Here we go. Jeff's Corner.
Jeff's Corner has arrived.
It is Jeff's Corner, yes.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, as I always do, I went to the Texas A&M AgriLife site.
Yay.
Pretty much, I mean, that's where you go.
Mm-hmm.
And here's some things that they had said that you should do as October is coming to an end.
Oh,
here
nice.
in Texas.
I like this.
Now, these are Texas-y things. But first is collect leaves for compost. So if you have a lot of big trees that are dropping leaves, you might want to collect those leaves and use them for compost. Guess what number 2 is? Add pansies for a pop of color.
Oh, my
Who did that already?
Woo, I love it.
I didn't even tell you about it yet, and you already did it. They're highly desired by browsing deer and need protection. We don't have deer in our backyard, so we're okay with that. Dig next year's tubers. What do you think about that? I don't know what a tuber is. What's a tuber?
Dig next year's tubers. Well, a begonia.
Pack tubers so they do not touch each other. I don't know what a tuber is, but
yeah, like a begonia, wax begonia.
Okay,
and some plants like that.
All right. Well, there you go. Prevent next year's pests. And that really is just cleaning up the garden and getting rid of some of the, the plants that are, we have some annuals, I think, that have probably need to be pulled.
Yes.
And then my personal favorite, plant your wildflowers for spring blooms.
Absolutely.
It's time.
That is
and we really did enjoy it.
Idea.
We really do enjoy the wildflowers, the seeds that we put out. They're always fun.
And it's so interesting, the flowers that we would, we cherish them as a garden flower, but they're actually wildflower seeds that grow, many of them. I think the one that we get is really for the coast, for the inland plains, the Great Plains and everything. And that's really good down through here in Texas. And it's surprising how many of them are sold as bedding plants and so forth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
we've enjoyed them.
That was the just a quick note on the tubers as I look at this a little closer. They're talking a lot about caladium tubers.
Okay.
So
yes.
I have to read this because I'm not the gardener in the family, but so what you do is you dig them in late October, you allow them to dry in a dark, well ventilated area, and then after 7 to 10 days, you remove the leaves and dirt, pack them in a dry peat moss, vermiculite or similar material for storage, and then you pack them so they don't touch each other, dust them with an all-purpose fungicide, and place the storage container where the temperature won't drop below 50 degrees. Holy smokes.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting. Yeah.
So there was the tubers. I didn't really understand the tubers myself, but there you go. There's a little more info on tubers. How's that? I think I like saying the word. Got to be honest with you. All right, that was what I had.
I love that Jeff's Corner.
Yeah, that was a good one. And it had I liked the little thing in there. Yeah, I liked it. Very fun.
You know, another plant that is very useful for growing through our falls and winters is what's called the pot marigold. It's actually the true marigold and the one that they make herbal teas with and so forth. And it loves the cold weather. It is not the same marigold as a tagetes, which is a French marigold. So if you look it up, it's the pot marigold.
All right.
And it's beautiful. It's come back and has started to bloom out there for me right now. It's got a gorgeous golden yellow color.
Very nice. I love how you bring stuff up, and I'm always thinking, that sounds cool. And then you say, it's back in the garden. I was like, okay. Guess we have one of those.
We do. We started them from seed last year.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. All right. What else you got?
I am going to say, if you have some seeds that you've grown, like I have a huge okra plant that I have allowed some of the pods to really get mature on. And if you have that happening, now is the time to gather your seeds and get them ready to store to plant next year, next spring.
Okay.
And any other plants that you have that way too.
Yeah, it's a good time in fall and winter, a good time to kind of reassess stuff and organize, clean, get ready for the big spring.
Yep.
So our spring comes
twice a year actually here.
Yeah, with spring. We don't have much of a winter, but yeah. So we'll do that. I think we are going to take our own advice this year. We definitely got to get some of our tools and things like that kind of ready for spring.
Sharper, yeah.
Yeah, we'll sharpen them up.
I agree.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I really enjoyed your Jeff's Corner.
You are most welcome. Sorry, I gave a little bit of a preview on your pansy activity.
That's very funny.
But
Is it the garden center?
it is. Hey, it's not the first time I've done that. Okay. Well, hey, we really appreciate you guys joining us, and we hope you're learning some things and enjoying some of the banter we have back and forth.
That's one of the best things about the podcast is that we have learned. It's been a very good learning tool for me.
Yes.
So I've enjoyed that.
It has. Actually, it has. It's kind of been a nice focus for us. Let me put it that way.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, and I hope all your seeds sprout.
I hope they sprout, and I hope if you have any tubers, you take care of them because it's time anyway. All right, everybody, we appreciate you joining us. You can check us out on the social media. You can see our website out there as well. It'll all be in the show notes. And until next time, happy gardening.
Happy gardening.
See you here next week, same time, same place. Bye.